down and listen to records. Smell the cover, read all the verses. Tell me about your favorites on Vinyl and Vision.
Hey folks, thanks for tuning in to the latest episode of Vinyl and Vision. Here we are with episode 136. Today's very special guest is Claudio Marcio. Claudio is the guitarist and primary songwriter for the band PILGRIMS out of Boston. Boston via Chile, actually. He and his writing partner, Jules Garat, have moved to Boston from Chile in 2015, I think. And, they're making a go of their musical career here in this country. They did obviously start off in Chile a little bit, and we get into that in our conversation. But just fairly interesting to speak with him, them being, Claudio being Colombian, actually, and Jules being from Chile. I felt compelled to speak with them, for me, myself, coming from an immigrant family from Bolivia. I felt like there was there might be some close connection there between our stories growing up, and there are some. But I did definitely need to kind of get involved into his story and get into his history. And so we talk about all of that, growing up in Colombia for him until he moved to Chile in 1995, I think it was. So as a teenager for him. And, finding music, finding an outlet through that, and ultimately, moving here and, establishing himself here in America. So, great conversation. Focus of the conversation was an album that Claudia chose, which was called Corazones by a band called Los Prisioneros. So, this is difficult for me because I'm not very good at speaking Spanish, obviously, and I had not heard about this band, Los Prisioneros. So they were becoming very popular at the time. Claudio was growing up as a young person and teenager, and this album is very important to him. I did not know it at all. I had never heard of the band Los Prisioneros, but they were a huge band, and this album Corazones was their fourth studio album, and it was by far their most successful record. And they did have some kind of international reach. But I personally have just never heard of them here in the United States. So if you've heard of it, awesome, and I hope you like it. And if not, then we will explain some of this to you and share some of their story with you on the show. So we got to get right to it because I don't want to make this too long. But Vinyl and Vision is produced by Psychic Static Productions, which is also a record label, and we have a lot of stuff going on right now. We have a lot of releases happening, and that have been released this week. We have new tape by Mr. Wonderful, which is a great album, and it's a super cool concept. I encourage you to come follow the links in the show notes to where our page is, where you can find this, and just take a look at it. It's just great. There is a new band by a great supergroup band of psychedelic rock music. It's amazing. We have that. We have Muffin is being released this week, which is a feminist punk Riot Girl-esque band, and their new album is amazing. So a lot of stuff to check out. Just go visit our website, www.psychic-static.com, and you can find links to all of those things and descriptions about those bands and links to some of their music. And we would appreciate that immensely if you can. Thank you so much for joining us. All that we ask here is that you do all the things you do with the internet. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, rate, review. All of those things, they help us immensely and they cost you nothing. If you do want to help us out in a financial way, please visit the website and try to make a purchase there, and follow links to our web store and our Bandcamp pages to find those albums. So thank you very much, folks. Enjoy. Hello, Claudio. Are you there?
Hi, James.
Hey,
Yes.
how are you?
Good. And you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. How about you? Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Cool, man. Well, how are you doing?
Doing good. Yeah, doing good. Yes. In general, yes.
Yeah,
What about
yeah.
you?
Doing okay. Just very busy this coming week, but I'm happy that I could get this thing working and be able to sit down with you finally.
Cool. Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, let's start off at the
Looks like
beginning.
everything is. Yeah.
So now Claudio Marcio, right, is how you pronounce your name?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for sitting down with me. Do you want to tell me a little bit about your upbringing, like where you were born and raised, and what year?
Sure, of course. So I was born in Bogota, Colombia, in the late 70s, actually, the 78. So
Okay.
I'm not that young anymore.
That's okay. If you couldn't tell, I'm not too young anymore either. You're you have a couple of years on me. I was born in 80.
Oh, cool. Look, we are kind of the same age.
Yeah, very very close. So
Mhm.
so now you were born in Bogota, Colombia. So now what was your family life like at home?
Yeah, so my father, I think what is interesting here is that my father is Chilean, right?
Hmm.
As we are going to talk about Los Prisioneros, right? So my father is Chilean, and he moved to Colombia in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
Uh, kind of political reasons involved. It's somehow political reasons.
Sure.
Um, so he migrated to Brazil, and then he ended up in Colombia, where he met my mother, and then I was born after, right? And I'm
Right.
the youngest of two brothers,
And
my sister and myself, two siblings, right?
yes. Okay. You're the youngest. I'm the youngest too. Um, so that's
Uh-huh.
that's pretty cool. So now what do you remember of music in your house growing up?
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, honestly, not much when it comes to, let's say, to Anglo music, right? What we call Anglo music, like music like, from the US, or my father, I mean, he was poor, no, when he was kid.
Yeah.
So basically, my grandfather in Chile, he used to listen to some old tangos, right? Mostly, I remember
Yeah.
tangos from Argentina, right? So, but again, nothing like Anglo related. And my father, because of the economic situation, right? He never had access to, to really, to have a stereo, and to, to buy some vinyls
Right.
at the time, right?
Right.
So not much. I mean, when then my father, he kind of had in Colombia, when we were older. Yeah, we had a stereo. He had a lot of Latin American music, like old folk from Argentina, like
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, well,
Um,
Mercedes Sosa, of course, like folk, the classic folk,
right.
mostly Latin American in Spanish, music in Spanish, right?
Right. Right.
Um, or
Yeah.
either like there is more like indigenous type of music also, more
Sure.
ethnic, from Chile, right? So
Like
you have
tradition.
bands like Iyapu, like
Right.
yeah, Quilapayún, all
Right.
these names in Mapuche, right? Which is, the main tribe from Chile, right?
Right. I mean, like,
So
so
yeah,
if you're from Colombia, do you identify with Andean music?
yeah, kind of. In Colombia, you have so many different kind of music.
Right. Right.
It's huge. They have a lot of influence, and that's the beauty of South America. Actually, every country has different music, and within the
Okay.
country, every region has different music, right?
Right. Because I'm from
Uh,
my family's from Bolivia. I mean, and so when you
right.
say when you say traditional music, I think about Andean music. That's kind of like the
Exactly.
traditional folklore music of my country.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So what
That's
is your what is your music called then?
like. Well, for example, I mean, in Colombia, you have some. I know more about the Chilean music, Chilean Andean music, right? As I told you, these bands like Iyapu, Quilapayún, or
Yeah. Okay.
Sol y Lluvia, or there are many. Los Jaivas, for example, Los Jaivas, they are amazing, right? They are a combination between Pink Floyd, I can tell you, Pink Floyd and Andean music.
Ooh. Okay.
They
That's
were
cool.
one of the pioneers in bringing rock and roll, to Chile.
Sure.
So they were heavily influenced by, I believe, no, by all these psychedelia of, from the 70s, right? Like Pink Floyd, right?
Yeah. Right.
Um, and they combine these two, and also psychedelic rock with Andean music, and they do something like really amazing.
Hmm.
Um,
That's
they
cool.
recorded an album in Machu Picchu, right at the top of Machu Picchu, at the top of the hill.
Oh,
So they
really?
moved instruments to, and then you can find it in YouTube, right?
Right, right. That's kind
It's
of like Pink Floyd
amazing.
doing the live at Pompeii thing. Yeah,
Exactly, exactly.
yeah.
But this is like, with the Andean influence, right?
Yeah, right, right.
Yeah.
Which is probably
And and and,
sounds
and
pretty cool.
oh, it is. It's amazing. It's amazing. And in Colombia, you have so many different rhythms like salsa. You have a joropo, right? It depends on the region, right?
Right.
Cumbia, of course. So the cumbia comes from Colombia originally, right?
Oh, okay.
Merengue, or you have I don't know. Depending on the region, you will have different music. We have the música llanera, for example, which is type of
Right,
the flats. No, the flats of Colombia. Colombia is huge, right? So you
right.
have this is kind of the cowboys area, right? So you have a different music from there, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
With a lot of art, right?
Los Vaqueros,
Yeah,
huh? Yeah. Well,
exactly. Yeah, los
so
Prisioneros.
so do you think that when you were
So
growing up,
that's my origin,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
when it comes to music influence. Yeah,
Right, but so I mean, so as a little kid, even though you weren't exposed to like rock music or kind of Anglo music in any way, I mean, did that stuff still speak to you? Did you still find yourself to be a fan of that music even?
yeah, yeah. Of course,
You
of
loved
course.
it.
I mean, and I think I appreciate it more, as I get older.
Sure.
Um, when I was a kid, in Colombia, no, when I was like around 12, no, so we had all the rock and roll came, right? It was a huge explosion of Latin rock, right?
Okay.
You had bands like Soda Stereo, right? Like Enanitos Verdes, right? Like
Oh, okay.
uh, many bands that started popping up, including Los Prisioneros, and they became like really, really famous.
Right.
That's why I started to listen to them, right?
Right.
And yeah, for political reasons, actually, Los Prisioneros, they were not as famous in Chile, but they were more famous in other countries in Latin America.
Right. Yeah. Well,
So
they were a little political,
yeah,
and so they were being censored a lot.
exactly, yeah,
Right. Right. So I mean, because you said something about this earlier, how like your father was moving around maybe because of some political issues and kind of ended up in Colombia.
right.
Um, the South American countries, I feel, from what I understand and from what I know, being a Bolivian immigrant, or coming from a Bolivian immigrant family, I should say, there always seems to be a lot of political unrest in South America and all of the countries that are connected to it.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, we have to talk about historically how the political environment has developed in those countries, right?
Sure, I
The
mean,
influence of the U.S. in the political influence of the
right.
U.S. in those countries, right? Putting dictatorships in every country, right? And sometimes creating chaos, right? Which is convenient. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's difficult to talk about. I think a little bit, especially right now. I mean, currently in 2026, Venezuela seems to be the newest the newest mark to be kind of addressed by the U.S. government for what seemingly seems to be no reason. I mean, I haven't really looked into it a lot myself, but I mean, it just seemed to come out of nowhere because I was paying attention to the news, I was paying attention to politics, and all of a sudden it was just like, oh, we're invading Venezuela. Why are we doing that? Like, what? Where's the threat there? You know?
exactly. Yeah, but I think that's let's say a luxury that the U.S. has.
Well,
They can
they're the big
pick
bully.
up wars with well whoever they want.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially come on, I mean, every South American country. I mean, they're all fairly poor. I mean, all of those countries are poverty stricken for the most part. I mean, they might have some, strong capital cities, and they have their economies, and they have their exports and that they rely on for income to their country. But I mean, they're nothing compared to the United States.
Yeah, of course, of course. And for in the case of Chile, no, the dictatorship that was implanted in 1973, right?
Right.
Um, it was all orchestrated by the US, no, and this is now public information released by the CIA.
Hmm.
I think in the 2000s, around the 2000s, this info was publicly, released.
Yeah.
And basically now is the US is saying, yeah, sorry, I mean, we did that, but we are different now, right?
Right. Right.
There was different people who did that.
Right.
But at that time, right, when they implanted the dictatorship in Chile and they eliminated this socialist government, no, democratically chosen, right?
Hmm.
They implemented this economical model, which is the neoliberalism, right? Chile was the first country in the world that was the pilot of this new model, right?
Oh, okay.
And for that, many economists from the U.S., from Chile, they traveled to Chicago to align with Milton Friedman or the Chicago Boys at the time, right? That they were known by the Chicago Boys. So they came back to Chile and they implemented this model.
Okay.
Years after, no, what I can tell you about what I'm going is that years after, when you see some economical, like, index, no
Hmm.
index, you realize that there is a lot of difference in wealth in Chile, right? You have
Oh, yeah.
very few rich people and a lot of mid poor class,
Right.
right? So, which is similar to levels that you see in other very poor countries, or in Africa, for example, in some of the countries in Africa, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and this is a very fake economy, right? That has been implemented, and people think that that Chile is very advanced and whatever within Latin America, I would say,
Sure.
but it's at the expense of the working people, right? They are all in debt. I can tell you,
Hmm.
the education is super expensive. The accessing to housing, the etc. etc. Right? So
Yeah.
all of that comes from that time. Um,
Huh.
there have been political unrest in Chile recently, which is very significant. But anyway,
Okay.
yeah, that was all the political influence, and Los Prisioneros come from there, right?
Right.
And the name Los Prisioneros is because they wanted to reflect the emotions that they were feeling at the time because of the dictatorship.
Right. Of course. Yeah. Because originally, before they claimed the name of Los Prisioneros, they were Los Criminales, I believe, right?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, I'm. Yeah,
Very, very briefly. Like they didn't ever put out any recordings or anything.
yeah. I think they had a couple of names. Yeah, that one, and I think Los Vinchucas. I think
Yes.
sounds
Los
familiar. Los
Pinchucas.
Vinchucas, I think,
Yep.
which is like I think kind of an insect. It's an insect.
Well, I think
Los
yeah,
Vinchucas.
it was a play on the
Yeah.
Beatles, right? So
Oh, maybe it comes from there, right? I don't know.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. Right.
Well, so now going back to your history and your life growing up in Colombia, do you remember what the first album you ever bought with your own money?
Yeah, actually, was Los Prisioneros.
Oh, okay.
I gave some money to my father because he was traveling to Chile.
Hmm.
It was a cassette, right? It was La Voz de los 80.
Oh, okay.
I remember,
Yeah, their first
and that was
album.
my first cassette. That was my first cassette. Yeah. Otherwise, we used to just to record cassettes from the radio, right?
Sure.
When listen to the radio and just recording your.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah.
that was the first one. Yeah.
We did that here in the United States too. I mean, when I was a kid, I was pretty poor as well. I lived here in the United States though, but yeah, it was always recording videos off of MTV on a VHS. There was
Right.
recording songs off the radio on the cassette. Yeah, do that stuff all the
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got to be resourceful when you don't have money, you know?
Yeah. Of course, of course. And yeah, and to know how to fix the cassettes and all of that, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Um,
Yeah.
Now that
Yeah.
reminds me. So you had the first album, La Voz de los Ochentas, on cassette from Chile.
Yeah.
So, and you bought that, what, was that 84 when it came out, or was it a little later?
No, it was a little later than that. I was at the school, so I can tell like around 87, 88, I would say.
87, 88.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Peru,
yeah. I was
Argentina.
yeah, mostly like around 10 years old, right? Yeah, yeah. I
All
was
right.
still like a kid,
Do you still
Yeah.
have that tape?
No,
You don't have it? Okay.
no,
All right.
no.
I'm checking the value of them, and on Discogs, currently the median price range for that tape from 1985 in Chile is like $15.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's funny because, so we're going to talk about the fourth album by Los Prisioneros, Corazones, and this album,
Right.
when it came out in 1990, even the CD version of it in 1990, the median price range for sale is $60.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a copy of Corazones?
Yes, I do. I have a CD.
Oh, you have the CD. Okay, so you don't have vinyl, huh?
No, actually, I decided some years ago, I decided not to get a turntable because I know that I would spend a lot of money in vinyls. And I had already I have a lot of CDs,
Sure,
right? But at some point they say, okay, no, no, no vinyls. I know I'm going to spend a lot of money.
sure.
So
Yeah. Yeah, and it's only gotten worse. So, yeah, you're probably
yeah.
right. But even from Colombia, 1990, the LPs sell for like $60. On the high end, they're like 225.
Mhm.
It's insane. It's great. But incredibly influential and important band in South America specifically, but they did have an international reach as well. So that's pretty cool. Again, going back to your history and your life, how did you get involved in music?
Oh, so yeah, I would say since I was a kid, I started just I wanted to play, just I was good at it. I had some classes at school,
Hmm.
and I realized that I had some talent, to playing the flute,
Right.
right? And yeah, from there, at some point, yeah, I didn't have a lot of resources either, right, at that point. So it's like, no, I couldn't like buy myself a guitar or ask for Christmas for a guitar, for
Right.
electric guitar.
Yeah.
Not really, not really.
But you kind of knew
Um,
you kind of knew you wanted to play guitar?
I wanted to do music. It was later when I opted for the guitar. Yeah, I
Yeah. Okay.
think it was. Yeah, I would say it was because of David Gilmour, maybe. I would
Who?
say David Gilmour from Pink Floyd. I would
Oh,
say, which
okay.
is one of my biggest bands that I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, yeah,
Sure,
but
sure.
yeah, because of the way he plays, no, the sounds that he creates.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I
mm,
mean, Pink Floyd is an amazing band. I mean, depending, everyone has their kind of favorite era of that band, but I mean, Dave Gilmour in general, I mean, he's an amazing player. Definitely
exactly,
great.
exactly.
And
The sound, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah,
uh,
no, but after actually when I was in Chile, right, when I was like a teenager, then I started to try to do some music however I could.
yeah.
I bought myself this Andean saxo, which is a very cheap instrument. I would say maybe $20, 20,
Mm-hmm.
$25.
Yeah.
But it's this little thing that is emulates a saxophone, but
Yeah.
it's like this size, right? And it sounds pretty well, no? You have you have to use your mouth well. It has the little thing,
Yeah.
and it sounds like a saxo, a very cheap saxo. Of course, it's not fully well tuned, of course.
Sure.
But anyway, I mean, I wanted to do some music, and that's what I had at hand.
All
So
right.
that's how I started. But yeah,
Yeah. So you feel like ever since you were a young kid, you really kind of you knew you had music in you, you just didn't know how to get it out.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um, so then now when did you move to Chile?
1993.
And is this what for school?
So when the democracy came back, no, in '88. Since then, my father he wanted to to come back to Chile.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah,
Because he's from there, so he wanted to move the family back there.
exactly. Yeah, he
Oh,
had
okay.
all his family, everything in Chile. So that was the reason. Basically, is what my father he wanted to come back, and then that was the first time that I became a pilgrim.
Right.
Was my
Okay.
pilgrimage from Colombia to Chile when I was around 14 years old. Yeah,
Yeah, 93. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
Wow, okay. So that was pretty crazy. So how did that how did that feel to you, having to make that big move at that young age?
Well, that was it was shocking actually,
Right.
and maybe people wouldn't realize that okay, you are moving within South America,
Sure.
but Chile was very different at that time. Um, now everything is more globalized, and you see much more people moving from one country to other, right? We have a lot of Colombians now in Chile. At that
Sure.
time, I was really we were very few Colombians moving to Chile. Chile is in the down south in South America, so it's a much colder country.
Oh, okay.
Um, for example, you had seasons, no? In Chile, you had seasons. You have winter, and the winter was it's cold, right?
Right.
So for us was really shocking. And in terms of culture, yeah, the Chilean culture at the time, coming from this dictatorship, they were really like, more quiet and, depressed in general, right?
Yeah.
And we were coming from Colombia, right? And Colombia at the time I mean, don't get me wrong, Colombia was full of this insecurity, narcos, it was crazy, crazy time at that time. You're right. If you know about Juan Pablo Escobar, right, and all the
Oh, right.
mafia that come from Colombia.
Oh, right.
Uh,
Yeah.
those were the times, right, when I was as a kid. I have some memories, very awful memories, right, from that period.
Yeah.
To Chile, which yes, it was much more safe, but at the same time, much more depressed. Um, a very different culture, different accent. Even sometimes it's still Spanish, but
It's a
you
different
couldn't understand
right.
what they were saying, right? Because in Chile, people talk with very fast and with a lot of slang.
Right.
So it was really shocking. The currency exchange for us was really bad uh, because
Yeah.
basically our wealthy was reduced to half
Right.
with taxes and with the currency exchange.
Right.
So for us, it was really a shock, So economically, emotionally, it was awful.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
it's tough. Migrating is tough,
Sure, sure.
and every
I mean,
migrants knows about that.
yeah, I mean, like, an American might say, like, oh, well, if I moved here from Rhode Island, let's say, to, um, well, let's say New Orleans, Louisiana, okay? Not too far, really. I mean, and it's not a process to move there because it's within the country, but it's very
Or,
different. I mean, like, I lived in New Orleans for like 9 months, one year when I was pretty
uh-huh.
young, and it was not a cult. Well, it's a kind of a culture shock. It's kind of weird down there, but
Uh-huh.
I can imagine how, especially at the time,
Of course, yeah.
early 90s, and like, yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, like between countries in South America, yeah, the I wasn't even thinking how
Mhm.
economically they're very different. Like, it's not like they all share the same money, like in Europe right now, they have the euro, you
Right.
know. But
Correct.
even back then, before the euro, all of those countries, even though they're so close together, in a space that's smaller than the United States, they're all different countries, and some of them speak different languages, some of them speak different, have different currency. I mean, well, all of them had different currency. So yeah, I can imagine
I
that
think
was pretty difficult.
it's a very, very interesting point what you're saying, no? Because indeed, and in Europe they have different currencies, and the difference between countries is much more
Prevalent.
underscore, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right, exactly, right? Like poor, like I don't know, Romania, right? At the time, I don't know, right? Versus adopting the euro, where you have a common coin for everyone that promotes equality at some point, right?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
but right. So yeah, So,
Interesting.
but yeah, as you can see, there is a cultural shock, and if you see it at a lower scale, right, when you migrate here from one city to other, you can imagine what it means, no, migrating from even from within countries,
Yeah.
and it's much more complex when
Yeah.
you migrate to a different culture, right, like coming
Right.
to the US, to a different language,
Right.
right, to right, yeah, that's much more complex.
Yeah, yeah. I would liken it to like for Americans that are listening, I would liken it to like, okay, if you live in America, anywhere you live in America, let's say you wanted to move to Canada. Um, that would be very difficult because it's a process. I mean, and like Americans are talking about so constantly is about our immigration problem, right? How we have illegal immigrants, people kind of crossing the border illegally, and staking their claim here in our country. Same thing if you move to Canada. You can't just cross the border and just decide you want to stay there and live there. You have to file official paperwork. You have to ask for residency, and they have to approve it. So
Yeah.
it's not just as easy as this like, oh, I'm going to pick up and go in the car and just drive over here and we'll see what happens. you
That
know?
was the old times, no? Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
old times now.
Uh, yeah, no,
Yeah,
not so much anymore. So
yeah.
so I have a little bit of some information that I found researching Los Prisioneros, and according to I can't pronounce this because I'm really bad at my Spanish. Remezcla.com. It's a publication.
Okay.
Quote,
Remezcla, yeah.
Remezcla. Yeah, I can't pronounce it. I can't roll my tongue.
The R
Um,
is very difficult. Yeah.
I could never do it, man. That's why I can't speak Spanish. I'm a horrible
That one is
Latin.
complex.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
yeah, the fun story to me,
sure.
it took me years to develop to be able to say R.
Oh,
I
really?
was like an old learner, when you have some, like issues
Yeah.
speaking. Yeah, I was like only like 10 or 12 when I was finally I could like say R. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to tell me how to do that because I still need to learn it. But we'll do that later. So Remezcla in 1990, it says, quote, in 1990, Chile was at a historic crossroads. Following a landmark 1988 referendum where the people voted to remove the bloody oppression regime of Augusto Pinochet, a gradual return to democracy began to loosen the shackles military officials had placed on artists and culture for over a decade. End quote. So now you're originally from Colombia, and your singer, who cannot be with us today, Jules Garat. Did I pronounce that correct?
Jules,
Jules. You pronounce it Jules. Okay. Garat is Chilean, and you both met in
correct,
Chile.
correct,
So now going back a little bit, so in 1990, when this album came out, you were in Colombia still.
correct.
Yeah,
Right.
and you were telling me
Yeah.
how and so in 1990, that's when a lot of the Pablo Escobar cartels were happening.
Yes, of course. That was in full display at the time.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Full display. Yeah, I
It's
remember, I remember some like there are some awful situations that happened, like for example, bombing an airplane,
right.
right? There was a politician, no, on this plane, and they blew up the whole plane, right?
Right.
Or when they put a truck full of dynamite in front of it was like the FBI building, let's say the FBI equal, no, in Colombia, right?
Right.
You could hear it in everywhere in the city, right? It was
Right.
insane.
Well, because you said that
And
Colombia is such a big country, but this you were actually living close to where this action was happening.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was Bogota, no? So the main capital, but
Right.
things were happening everywhere, in
Yeah.
Medellin. You have the cartel de Cali, no? From Cali, there was another cartel in Cali. No, it's awful, no? Awful times.
Right. Right.
Um, Luckily, that has changed significantly in Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and because Colombia is now a much more safe place than it was before, I can
Oh,
tell you.
sure. Oh, I bet it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
what? So now
That's
in 1990, did you get this album in 1990?
the Corazones. Corazones, I got it when I arrived to Chile years after.
Oh, okay.
Um, Yeah, yeah.
And so you moved
But
there.
Corazones actually, yeah, as you know, is not very political. No, it changed. It's a very different album.
Oh yeah,
Lyrically speaking, no, it's there are some there are some critics about society, but it's not as direct
right.
as the other albums, right? When it comes to to yeah, political lyrics.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it's more of a I mean, it's different for a couple of reasons, right? So it's different sonically because it's a bigger production. They traveled to Los Angeles. Jorge Gonzalez, the lead singer and songwriter, traveled with their producer. What was his name? The
Is it
producer
Fonseca, I think? Was it Mario Fonseca or no?
Gustavo Santoyaya Santoy. I can't pronounce it.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you
yeah.
know his name? Santaolalla? Yaya? Is that how you say it?
Santolaya. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, Gustavo. So
Yeah, yeah,
so that was the
yeah, yeah.
producer, Argentinian producer,
Mm-hmm.
who was most famous for his band Arco Iris at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hmm.
the two of them went to Los Angeles to record this album, uh,
Right,
and so it's definitely a bigger production. And then lyrically speaking, I mean the music is also much more personal. It's much more.
right. Yeah,
It's definitely revolves around romance and love and unrequited love and painful love.
yeah,
So yeah,
yes,
very
exactly.
very very different in that regard.
I saw an interview of Jorge Gonzalez some days ago, no? Also preparing for this, no?
Yeah,
Fresh in my memory, and there was this story about Gustavo Santolaya. Now that you said the name,
yeah.
there is this song, Tren al Sur, from this album, right? The
See,
first is the first song,
yes,
and it's a train, right? So train to the south, no? Tren al Sur, no? And it's kind of evokes all the south of Chile, which is very very beautiful, no? It's like going to the countryside, and it's a very different environment from the city, right?
mm-hmm,
So at some point in the song, there is like this effect that there is a train uh, coming to the station, like stopping. So
right,
the rhythm of the song goes
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like like progressively slowing down with the sound of the train. And I mean, it's genius, no? When you listen to the song and you notice that that was Gustavo Santolaya, no, giving that kind of idea, no?
Yeah, I
So
guess so. I'm not sure who. Yeah, it must have been his idea, but
yeah,
yeah.
it was Jorge Gonzalez who told it the other day in this interview, right?
Oh,
That I
okay.
saw from, yeah, right, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of the album, I mean, maybe we should just go ahead and get into it right away, considering you're mentioning the first song on the album, which is Tren al Sur, Tren al Sur, which means train headed south or train going south. So now I think that this song is interesting because what I read about it, it basically was saying how it's a hymn to nostalgia. There's a few people
Correct.
that had this kind of like same kind of mentality, same kind of thinking about this song, where they say, something along the lines of that it sounds like it's the escape from the city routine and the search for inner peace. I mean, so this is a much grander, kind of
Correct.
thought.
Correct. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
more than a physical journey, it represents the return to childhood, simplicity and
Hmm.
nature, far from modern coldness. And
Exactly. Exactly.
the song celebrates the trip as an emotional and personal reconnection.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I
Right.
mean, so that's a kind of a much deeper kind of like sentiment of that song. But so this song, Jorge Gonzalez is singing in this way where it kind of sounds nostalgic. It kind of sounds like he's singing about leaving his country, leaving his home, and traveling for some unknown reason. And it's a little sad. But with this being said, the song says traveling south, but I'm curious what your experience was traveling north, moving here to Boston.
Yeah, I mean, it was completely the opposite to going to a quiet place. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
right?
yeah.
But because in this trip it's like you leave the city, you go to find some peace, right? You go to right to find some peace of mind in Tren al Sur, right?
Right. Sure.
In my flight to the north, right? We were looking for opportunities, right?
Hmm.
Um, that was basically why we moved to the US. It's purely economical, let's say. No, it's purely to try to, get some more resources for when we are old. No, try
The
to, to
the
yeah,
American the
use our,
American dream, as they say, right?
I mean, I don't know if it's American dream. I think it's everyone's dream. No, I
Well,
think
yeah. Right.
everyone's dream that you want to have your wealth enough just for being happy, I think.
Yeah.
No?
You
I
wanna
think
you wanna
that's
be
not only
prosperous.
American, no?
Yeah.
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 So yeah, I didn't come looking for explicitly the American dream. I just came for, looking how I could develop myself in my job, you know.
Right.
I
Right.
had this opportunity with my job to come here. So
So you,
um,
so you took it.
and yeah, so we took it, yeah, but
Right.
we didn't know much more about Boston, to be honest. uh, we didn't research a lot. We just took the decision. I had the opportunity and we took the decision to come.
Right. That's
Mm.
scary. I mean, you have no family here. You had no friends. You didn't know anything about this area and like kind of what to expect. So yeah, very, very, very different, very challenging, very scary.
I mean, yes, I mean the only thing that we knew is that, let's say, yeah, it was a diverse city.
Sure.
Boston, no, it's diverse, and for us that was something important.
Good. Yeah.
um, we thought that there was good public transportation. That was a mistake. even though even though the public transportation here is much better than other cities where there is, in some cities is non-existed existing, right?
Right.
But yeah, public transportation is not very good here, let's say, compared to, even I can tell you, compared to Chile, for example, in Santiago, there is no comparison.
Oh
But
yeah.
anyway, um, but we came here for, looking for opportunities, right? To develop ourselves and in our jobs. Uh, yeah, at the same time, I wanted to do my own music. I came with the idea to really start doing my own thing.
Right.
Um, I got the means here, to buy myself, so the gear that I needed to start doing music.
Right.
So yeah, that was part of the plan too. Mm.
Yeah, because so now just to be open and honest with people that are listening. I mean, you and I spoke together for a little while, like last week, but we weren't able to record this conversation. But
Yeah,
you were in a band in Chile with
right.
Jules,
Yes. Yeah, I was in a couple of bands. Yeah, in Chile. Yeah.
right? So and this was what was this college for you?
Yes. No, no. It was the university. I was in the college is the kind of the same, no, as university.
Yeah,
I think.
Universidad. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, university. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, we say universidad. Yeah, it's college. Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a slight difference between college and university as far as like what kind of schooling it is, but I mean, it's after high school. It's after your primary
After
education.
high school, correct. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
correct.
So, so did you guys meet in college?
No, we meet outside. Let's say it was music related, no? And thanks to the old, forums on internet. You remember those forums where you used to go and basically meet people and discuss and have this very
Yeah.
long discussion. You were typing. It was not just text.
Right,
It
right,
was
right.
yeah, it was forums, right? And they were related to the alternative scene, Gothic alternative.
Yeah.
Uh, and actually, this forum was from Mexico. It was not from Chile.
Oh,
But
okay.
we met there. At some point, there was like a meeting, like of the Chilean people in Santiago of this forum.
Yeah.
uh, and that's where we met. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you had no relation before that. You kind of just met
No,
because of the meeting, the forum.
correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I
So
mean, we
now,
knew each other online, right? We knew each other online, but not in real life. Yeah.
right, right. So that brings up an interesting point because you're saying how this was like a music forum for the most part from Mexico, but
Music, society, yeah, everything. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, what was the music scene like in Santiago around this time when you're meeting?
Oh, well, actually, it's pretty good, in terms of if you ask me about, like underground music,
Yeah.
yeah, it was very well developed, I would say. No, there are bands everywhere, and now I can tell you, I don't know how many bands are down there, but yeah, there were a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
And what about
at
like
that time,
clubs, like going out to shows and stuff like that? What was that
yes,
like?
yes, there were very big clubs now. I can tell you in Santiago, I think maybe this is the best, or not the best, but the biggest alternative discotheque in that I have seen. We have in Santiago, which is the Blondie discotheque. It's
Yeah.
like three levels, and you have gothic parties like every other week, and it's fully crowded. So it's like, it's really big.
Yeah.
Um, and actually, before I started, doing my own music, I was a producer of events. I wanted to promote bands that I like.
Yeah.
So I was always researching for bands from different neighborhoods in Santiago,
Sure.
um, and doing the events, no, and bringing people and bringing new music. I wanted to bring new bands to light, right? Music that bands that they deserve to be heard.
Right. Right. Of
Uh,
course. That's
so we
cool.
did that for a couple of years. We have very good memories, supporting some bands that are still our friends.
Yeah.
And actually, one of the bands, which is Ammoniaco, we met them when we were these producers. I was with Jules. No, I was together with Jules at this time already.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, we met Ammoniaco because we wanted to do, a party with them.
Right.
So we met them, and from there we became friends. Time after, Jules joined Ammoniaco as a keyboard player, as a second vocals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when they opened for The Cure, there was this contest in Chile, online contest for people to vote for a couple of bands to open for The Cure.
Right. Wow.
Um, this was in 2013.
Okay.
And the Cure, they were amazing. Robert Smith is amazing what he has done with Ticketmaster, for example, another thing. But in this Latin American tour, they were really choosing, other bands that are not like the bands that are always on the top, like that you always see opening for bigger bands, right?
Right. Right. They
So
wanted to choose their own openers for per every by every country.
exactly.
Yeah.
And much smaller bands. So in this Latin American tour, if you see the different countries, the bands that opened for The Cure, they
Yeah.
were like very unknown, small bands, right? So it was a dream for all of us because I joined Ammoniaco
Yeah.
to support for opening for The Cure, right? As the second guitar.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that time, Ammoniaco, they were three, no, with programming drums. So there was a bass, there was Carlos, who is the singer with a guitar.
Yeah.
There was Jules, second vocals and the keyboard. And for when we opened for The Cure, I joined as a second guitar, and my brother, my very good friend Cesar, he joined as the drummer.
Wow.
He played for years in a like kind of a hard rock metal band.
Sure.
So yeah, it was a great addition, and so we were five when we opened for The Cure in
Wow.
2013, right? And that was a dream come true, of course.
Yeah.
Um,
Can imagine.
And after that experience, after meeting Robert Smith, no, he, as I said, he's an amazing guy. He went to the backstage where we were. He came by its own,
Yeah.
bringing a bottle of champagne for us,
Oh,
congratulating us.
yeah.
I can tell you, we were ready because we had so many gifts for Robert.
Oh, really?
Uh,
Yeah.
we were, yeah, we had like really, we were so grateful with them.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I got a bunch of Andean instruments that I gave to them.
Oh, cool.
Um, Actually, we saw Robert Smith playing one of them the next day when they played in Lima.
Oh,
It
really?
was
Wow.
amazing. Years later, we saw a video, and he was like playing with one of them, like like fooling around, but opening with one of the things that we gave them. No,
Yeah.
that
Wow,
was
that's
really
awesome.
amazing. And yeah, we gave them, pisco, which is like a drink from Chile. We very high
Yes.
quality pisco.
Yep.
For we gave them a lot of gifts. Yeah,
Sure, sure. And I mean, it
Mm.
sounds like it went over very well. I mean, that's an
Yeah.
amazing opportunity for anybody. I mean, the
That was an
cure.
amazing opportunity, amazing experience. When we played, we saw that Robert was looking from the corner at some point, not the
Sure.
whole time, but we saw that he appeared at he looked at us. Roger O'Donnell, he was also there.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, and to me, like Reeves, meeting Reeves Gabriels. Uh,
Yes.
He's one of my idols in terms of the sound that he gets on the guitar. It's
Oh,
amazing. He's an
sure.
amazing guitar player. This Gabriel's, yeah, one of my biggest influence too. So yeah, and from there, I can tell you personally, from there, when I had that experience, I decided, okay, now I'm going to do my own music.
Right.
I have to try. I have to try to do my own thing. Let's see how it goes. No,
Right.
that
Right.
was in 2013.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and we moved
Um,
to Boston in 2015.
2015. Right.
Correct, correct.
Okay.
So when we arrived here, I already had some ideas. I got myself a guitar in Chile, a acoustic guitar. I
Mm-hmm.
started, recording with something I don't remember. I think it was the Galaxy, yeah, directly into the laptop, right? I was like, yeah, just playing and recording from the microphone, from the laptop.
Yeah.
And I started doing some mock-ups from there, no? And yeah, yeah, but yeah. Then I focus a lot, in doing music. Yeah, I since then I haven't stopped doing music like almost every day.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Well, that's
yeah.
great. Yeah. I want to ask you something about music. I mean, because as far as like Los Prisioneros and this album Corazones is concerned, I found this other quote from another again from Remezcla. It says,
Right,
quote, in LA, Gonzalez entered the studio with then rising Argentine producer Gustavo Santoyala, Yaya, who made a name for himself with his band Arcoiris, and by collaborating on popular albums for Wet Picnic and Leo Geico. So,
Leon Gieco. Yeah,
how do you pronounce that?
Leon Gieco. Leon Gieco. He's a famous singer yeah, yeah,
Okay, yeah, because he
from
worked with
Argentina.
he worked with him too. So
Yeah,
Santo Yaya brought an astounding new level of polish to Los Prisioneros, where all previous records had been produced by Gonzalez, infusing jagged electronic melodies with soaring pop production and regional instruments like charango in order to solidify a sonic identity that was original and unquestionably Latin American. End quote. So now, with that being said, I have a weird stance on this, because I feel like that, like what I know of Latin rock music, because I went to Bolivia when I was 15, and I had an amazing experience there, but I feel like it was it was like a cultural desert, kind of. Like there wasn't a lot of like new and interesting music. It was very hard to find music, I felt like, when I was there. Granted, I was only 15, so I mean, money was scarce, and
right.
I wasn't able to like go to record stores and just try to like kind of buy anything I could. But listening to the radio,
Right.
which was a huge presence, like the biggest song on the radio at the time, and this is 1995, was Hotel California. You know, like still
Right.
after decades of that
Yeah.
song just friggin' being the biggest song ever.
Yes.
And then also the sound, like the sound of like Latin music, you know, like I was starting a band there. Like the school I was
Hmm.
going to, we met some kids from other countries who were talented, and we kind of started to form a band that we would end up coming back to America, me and my brothers, and take off with that band. But we started there, and so I was just learning. I had just learned how to play bass. I wasn't very good. None of us were, but we could play some covers, you know. And so at the time, we were playing songs by like Weezer and some songs by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and it blew people's minds because they couldn't find anybody that was playing this music because first of all they didn't know it wasn't on the radio back there back then in that country, and you know, who are these punk kids, teenagers from America that are bringing this to us, you know? And the
Yep.
sound quality. I was embarrassingly, I went to I was at this wedding in the Campo of Bolivia because
Hmm.
I was living with my grandparents down there in Bolivia, and my
Hmm.
grandfather owned a piece of property in the Campo. So occasionally we would go up there, which is like, for people that don't understand what I'm talking about, it's like farmland. It's like it is like very rough third world country stuff. There's no like barely any electricity. There's no
Right.
running water. This is like serious farmland.
Right. Right.
Um,
Right.
so we end up at a wedding, a campesino wedding, and they had a band playing, which was like what you might imagine, you know, like this 5 6 piece band playing, you know, cumbias and cuecas and stuff like that. And there's that
Right.
sound, you know, that sound of the guitar where it just sounds like you're kind of hitting a tin can, and there's like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's like the electronic drums, you know, it's like like everything sounds so weird, you know. um and like, cuz like, so embarrassingly, where the story goes is that my grandfather, because he knew that me and my brothers played music, he had the nerve to talk to the bride and the groom and ask them if we could ask the band if we could play at this wedding, our you
Okay.
know, our punk rock music, play our Chili Peppers songs and our Weezer songs. So they they you know, of course, being out of respect, they said, oh yeah, don Oscar, you know, of course, you know, como no, like, yeah, please have them come up. And like, I'm like, oh my god. So we go up there, and I put on this guy's bass, and I look at his bass cab, and like everything is turned down. Like there is no treble, there's no bass, there's no mid, it's all zeros. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, who plays like this? And so I'm turning knobs. I'm like, now I'm like trying to like get my sound, like my stupid 15 sound, but like, you know, everything was fucking weird. All sound is weird down there. But and then we embarrassingly played Soul to Squeeze by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and then we like shamefully went back to our seats and shut up
How
for
was the
the.
response from the people? How was the response?
Can you imagine? They had no idea what to think. They thought we just brought the devil.
Yeah.
Like I don't like to their nice wedding. Like, can you like
Well,
it's
you know, I think, and I think Bolivia, for example, is particular on that sense. And Peru, I would say a little bit as well.
okay?
I think their culture is very bold, which I think is great. Actually, I think it's good that
Yeah.
in these countries you don't see that much influence from, you know, from the US or from the other countries, you know.
Hmm.
And you see that the old way of living and the old, you know, costumes, I don't know, costumes, the old, yeah, everything is,
It's a little
they preserve
behind.
it. They
Yeah.
preserve it. But I wouldn't say behind. I wouldn't, I don't like to say behind.
Sure.
I
Sure.
think it's just the way that they live, you know?
Right.
Um,
Right.
and yeah, and they value their music, they value
Hmm.
the, you know, uh, their instruments, their local instruments, you know, and stay with that,
Right. Right. But going back to the idea of like Latin American sound, like I
Yeah.
had to tell that long story because of the bass cabin, how everything's turned down. And like when you listen to some of that music, like some of this like, cumbias and cuecas and stuff like that, like there's a very particular sound to it, and it's very tinny. Um and I've kind of felt that way about this album. Like even though it's like a major production, especially compared to what they were originally doing, and then like it's not like a dance record in that sense. It's more advanced because it's definitely sounds like they were taking influences from like New Order and The Cure and bands like that. Like they were going for a specific thing, but not because of the charango, but just production wise, it just has a little bit of a weird tinge to it. Do you know what I mean?
No.
No? Okay.
Actually, sorry.
All right.
No, no, no.
Well, I don't know.
No,
Maybe.
I mean, look, what I see in Corazones is indeed, as you say, that there is a much more electronic influence, right?
Right, right,
And as you say, there is the influence of New Order, right? There is the influence of Depeche Mode in the drums, right? And
right.
and
Yeah.
now we are using they're using these electronic drums and not a real drums, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Um, so I see that influence. But for example, what you say about this, like when you read that from this article saying like bringing like Andean roots,
Right.
I'm not very sure about that.
In Tren al
Uh,
Sur specifically, they use a charango in it. So
yeah, yeah, that could be like okay, one thing, no,
right, it's
but
one
in
thing.
general,
It's not a lot.
the album, yeah, yeah, yeah. The album in general is much more electronic, more than let's say Andean, let's say, no?
Right, right. They just wanted
Right?
to. I think what the point of that article was that, they were trying, even though it was like a newer and more kind of polished production, they wanted to make sure that they kind of held on to their roots a little bit, just a little bit. So so that song, I don't think every song has it. I think it's
Right.
just Tren al Sur that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
has some charango on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
Mm,
it's low in the mix. It's not even, it's barely audible really, but
mm,
I just
yeah.
had I just
But
had
if
to
you
ask you
see,
about that.
I
I'm
think
so,
that the album has a lot of let's say danceable songs.
oh yeah,
No, I think Tren and Sur you can actually dance.
sure,
No, you
yeah,
can dance like uh, Noche en la Ciudad, for example.
okay, yep,
Noche en la Ciudad, which is a very electronic as well, very yeah, I think
yeah.
yep,
I mean, most of these songs are very danceable. I mean, like if I had to compare this album to other albums, I would
yeah.
say definitely like 80s era or early 90s era, New Order, Depeche Mode, uh, Cure, all of those like kind of like oddly enough like
Mm-hmm.
UK bands, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, there was a lot of that. I
And
mean,
maybe I'm just saying maybe, no, because I think there was a big influence of the Clash
oh right,
and in the previous albums, of course, that's a fact. But you could notice that influence a lot in Claudio, no, in Claudio Narea, in the guitar player,
yeah,
right? Um, he brings the maybe this reggae punk, no, that comes with the
right,
Clash, no, and then Prisioneros, they have this influence in many songs.
right. It's true,
And Claudia Narea is not there anymore, right?
right.
So Miguel Tapia, the drummer, is not there anymore, right?
The
So
original band was
of
not
course,
didn't really participate in
of
this
course,
album. Yeah.
right, right. So of course there is a big change there, no? So it's purely Jorge Gonzalez there, no?
Right.
Yeah,
So I mean, he was left to his devices with the producer Gustavo to just do whatever they felt like they wanted to do. I mean, and it's not to say that this album like didn't have any direction. I think he knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he definitely
yes,
says
yeah,
that this is one of the best works he's ever made. He's very clearly very proud of this album, and it went on to
yeah,
be very successful. So
yeah,
um,
yeah.
let's see. So, in an interview that Jorge Gonzalez gave in 1990 to the magazine Rock and Pop Internacional, the leader of Los Prisioneros acknowledged that both Tren al Sur and Es Demasiado Triste which open and close Corazones were written, quote, in a slight state of drunkenness, end quote. So he goes on to continue this quote. It says, "It was very interesting. I never drank in my life. It was romantic. It was very strange to be Chilean and not to be drunk. It's kind of fascist. Of course, the drink makes you feel bad, makes you silly, makes you ugly. Tren al Sur is made under that effect. It's like a tribute to childhood. Maybe it's like a love song of wanting to write about anything but love. And the last song is from when you start to realize that you're getting a little old. We are already a group of 25, he confessed." So, I mean, there were 25 when he made this album. I mean, so like he's not that old, but it's interesting
Not
that
at all.
yeah. So it's
Right.
interesting that he says that he didn't drink as a person. As a 25-year-old, he hadn't been drinking up until this point when he starts to drink, when he starts to write the songs for this album. Do you drink?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you feel that has an effect on your productivity, positively or negatively?
I think in general, the substances are important for the mix.
Sure.
Sometimes I take some psychedelics, some psychotropics to inspire myself. Yeah,
Cool. That's great.
I think it's a tool that you can use depending on the substance. No, of course you have to control every substance, but yeah, it's a valid tool to use.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and alcohol is a weird one because it can definitely get ugly. You definitely have to, moderate that one.
Of course.
Psychedelics is interesting. I haven't used them in a very long time. When I was young, I did mushrooms on a few occasions, and I think I tried playing guitar when I was on mushrooms, and it didn't go well. But I may have just taken
Yeah,
too many. I'm not sure. I wasn't really,
yeah.
thinking like, oh, I wanna write down something. It was just kind of spur of the moment.
Yeah. I think maybe it's more, let's say, for inspiration than execution. No, maybe for
Hmm.
conceptual inspiration more than for execution itself.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
would say.
Save the recording for
Uh,
the other day, for another day. So
and 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 always you have the microdosing. No, microdosing is always there.
sure.
I mean, when you microdose, you have more control. No, let's say. Yeah.
Right, right. And I haven't gotten there yet. I want to. I want to do that because I think that sounds like a great idea. So now speaking of
And giving you
inspirations,
ideas, giving you
I, I,
ideas.
just- I just no, I trust me. I've already had the idea. I just haven't gotten any yet. It's hard to
Yeah.
find. I feel like it's hard to find. So, let's see. So speaking of inspirations, in an interview with the clinic, Jorge Gonzalez says when asked about what he engages with for inspiration, whether it be books, music, or cinema, is what he was asked. He says, quote, "I think what fed me the most was what I saw. The people I talked to, what they told me. That was always like that. What was happening and the people around." End quote. By the way, I'm sorry, all of these quotes have been translated to English, so it might sound a little
No
weird.
worries. Yeah.
So what could you say inspired what you made for your new album, Gemini?
Yeah, I mean, it's when I yeah, because so it's a joint work, no? Our songs, it's mostly between Jules and myself, no?
Mm-hmm.
But I always start, musically speaking, with a concept. I
Yeah,
create a mock-up of like a, yeah, like a
a demo.
mock-up of song. Yeah, yeah. And I always inspire myself in a concept and in a feeling that I want to transmit now with the music.
Right.
That concept might completely change when Jules comes into
With
play,
the
right?
lyrics. Right.
With the lyrics. With the
Yeah.
lyrics. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, I mean, of course, we discuss about the concept. Sometimes she agrees with the concept, but sometimes she decides to change it, completely. Of course, taking the reference of the emotion of the song, right? You cannot do something happy in a, I don't know, you know what I mean. No, the, the,
Yeah.
the song has something to do from musically speaking, right?
Right.
So yeah. but
Right.
that's how we normally function. No, I can come with this idea, then we have some improvisations, no, and then I take again, no, after that improvisation, and then I start, doing some structure of the song. Then another comeback, then it's always important to play the song, of course. When you play, then you start maybe thinking about it. No, maybe I can shorten here or extend here. Yeah, that's it.
Right, right. It's interesting. You were kind of talking exactly about what I was thinking because I wanted to
Mhm.
also ask you about how that's different, right? So like as a musician, because you are the musician and you're the primary songwriter of the music, the composition, whereas
Yeah,
Jules is the vocalist and she is the primary lyric writer.
correct,
So
correct.
there's that juxtaposition is the word I think you would maybe have been looking for, where you already have this song which has a feeling, and you are thinking about this. You're thinking about what the song kind of means to
Yeah.
you, and then she has to take that same song and then she has to find what that song means to her. So would you say that the new album Gemini, like it was like kind of a perfect meeting between the two of you, where her words kind of like spoke to what you were trying to go for?
I think we have always had this balance, honestly, since
Yeah,
the very beginning.
right.
I believe we really complement each other very well, musically speaking.
Hmm.
Uh, but in this album, in Gemini, it's more, let's say, the perfect meeting between electronics and guitars, and bass.
Right.
That's why it's called Gemini. It's this conjunction of it's like a peak of our sound when it comes to electronics. Now I'm use much more synths in
Right.
this album, and of course, and Jules also, she improves a lot, when it comes to bringing more elements in harmonies and effects.
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, would you say that there's any song on your album that, like, after Jules gave her treatment to it, that it changed radically?
Radically, no, in the concept, you mean the concept, the concept that I had
Well, I
versus the
mean,
concept that ended up?
no, I mean like more more even structurally. Like if you had a song done and you brought, I'm not sure that this is exactly how it works, but I mean if you had a song that was finished and you brought it to Jules and
Oh, no, 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 no. Normally the I progress with the structure, no, and I share the progress with Jules. No, it's not like
hmm.
it's not really the structure of the song is shared to Jules only when it's finished, right?
Right. Right.
There are some some steps in the middle, right? So it's
Yeah.
not a full surprise for her.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So it all grows together.
yeah, yes, it grows together organically.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Cool. Yeah. Well, it's a,
yeah.
it's a great album, by the way. I mean, I'm sorry I haven't said that yet. There's a lot
Thank
of
you,
great
thank you.
a lot of great songs on it. There's one song that particularly reminds me of like early Faith No More. I don't know if you've been a big
Uh-huh. Which
I don't know
one?
if you've been a big fan of them.
I'm a big fan of Fade No More. To me, the King for a Day album
I
is,
love that one.
I listen to that album like every other week, because it's so good. I
Yeah.
can't stop listening to that, especially that album. I love it. I really love it.
That is actually my favorite Faith No More album, and I think that it's a very
Uh-huh.
underrated. Like not many fans talk about
It
that
is so
album.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The song that on your album that I feel
Oh,
sounds more like Faith No More. It's more of one of their
what song?
first.
Do you remember? It could
Uh
be. Maybe it is Glass Cages. I would bet is that one because
Glass.
it's much more, let's say, hard rock. It's a hard rock
Yeah.
combined with post punk, I would say, no?
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Maybe it was that one. I can't remember offhand. I didn't make the note, but
right, right, right.
Glass Cages.
If you ask me, no, if you ask me for a song that I think is more similar to Fade No More,
Yeah.
I would say I would say it's that one because of the bass and the riff. It's like a hard rock
Right.
song.
Okay.
that evolves into post-punk. And
Yeah.
yeah, actually, I have to say, no, we explore different things, no, in this album. You
Right.
will see that the songs are different between them. No, it's not a flat, and we are not afraid of trying different influences. No, yeah, like
Right. Right. No, clearly. Do you think that like for your next album or your like if you're already writing songs now, do you think that they're already morphing into something different than what Gemini is?
yeah, maybe. Well, I'm already doing some new songs,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, to be very honest with you, I mean. I just write songs as I progress, as I learn new things, no?
Right.
As I get myself with new resources, no? I'm always, I take a new resource and I try to, you know, to explode it. I recently got myself the Moog Sub 37, no?
Mm-hmm.
This one here. Let me, that classic, no? That one
Oh,
there,
yeah, nice.
right? So it has a lot of, you know, the
Crazy
notes that
sounds.
I play to create modulations, to create, you know, and I'm exploring that a lot. So it's again more electronics. So, but at the same time, I always try to evolve with the sound of my guitar. No, I bring more effects.
Right.
So the new songs that are coming, that I have already like four new songs that we are pretty much finished.
Yeah.
Uh,
Cool.
they have a lot of this mob. I
Yeah.
try to complement the bass lines, normally the bass lines, with some electronic bass lines to kind of do a more round and aggressive sound, no?
Sure. Sure.
So,
Yeah.
it's not like and I maybe I would love to, no, to have a whole one concept for an album, and that album is, you know, is particular and very different from the others, but. As I say to you, no, I'm writing songs as I go,
Right.
as I go, I don't stop, and I just yeah,
It
and
just
then we'll
whatever
see. We'll
comes.
see how it goes. Yep,
Yeah. Whatever comes comes. That's how it goes.
yep,
So, all
yep.
right, let's move on and talk about this album a little bit more. There's a few songs I'd like to touch on. Um, uh, Amiga Mia. I'm not really kind of crazy about this song. Now, if you understand and know the history of the band at this time in their careers, um, you know, we've already mentioned that Jorge Gonzalez and the producer Gustavo Santoyaya, I believe. Uh,
Yeah, right.
I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry.
It's okay. No
They
worries.
they were basically doing this album by themselves. Like so the other two
Yeah.
members of the band are basically gone and a lot of that has to do with the conflict that Jorge is having with his guitarist. What's his name again? Uh,
Claudio
Cla-
Narea. Mm.
Claudio Narea, yeah.
Yeah,
So
right.
so Jorge is having an affair with Claudio's wife. Do you know this? You know about this?
Yes.
Okay, because it's all over this album. I mean, there's so
Yeah.
many reasons why this album's called Corazones, which means hearts,
No,
and a lot of the songs.
exactly.
Right,
And that song is to me, yeah, it's completely directed to her. No,
right,
maybe
yeah,
Jorge he would say no, 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 and through the years they have say no, 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 but you know, it's like
yeah.
you know when you know. I mean, it's so evident. I think it's very evident. No,
Well, yeah. I mean, I think at the time, like when this came out, I think he was denying. But I think now,
exactly.
now that people are looking back at the album and there's all these retrospectives and anniversaries, he does interviews, every now and then, and and I think he's pretty open and honest about it now, saying how this was clearly an album about love and the pain of love.
Yes.
So I don't want to ask you about anything like that because that's just like way too personal and stuff like that. I mean, we all have had our feelings about love and painful things that have happened and so forth. But you got this album in 1993 approximately, right? You said, or
Yeah.
95? So you're still young. You're still a teenager at this time. Like, what was
Yeah.
your first impressions when you heard this song?
Oh, Amiga Mia, to me, is one of my preferred songs of this album, actually.
But by
The
then,
lyrics,
even then, when you were a teenager?
yes, 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 yes. Yeah, because when you're a teenager, I don't know, at least in my case, I used to fall in love, every other week, right?
Of course,
Maybe, right?
yeah.
With this girl and this other, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, you have all this passion, right? And
Sure.
and you have friends. I mean, amiga is friend, no? And you say, amiga mia, my friend, I don't want to lose this opportunity, right? We are not going to let this opportunity lose, right? That's basically what the lyric says.
Yeah.
The lyrics are very poetic, the what he says, the way he sings,
Right.
and the when you go the lyrics itself, they're beautiful, beautiful lyrics.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, to me, and the cadence of the song, no, the tempo, I really I love it. I love that song.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's clearly as we say, no, it's written to Claudio's wife.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fucked up, man. I mean, it's a really weird scenario and disturbing, but I mean, whatever. I guess you pulled good art out of it, so I mean, you kind of can't complain unless you're Claudio, of course. um,
Yes.
all right, well, let's move on to the next
You
song.
see, you see the life of the artist. No, sometimes it's so crazy, right?
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
sometimes it's very open and honest like this, whereas other times maybe it's a little bit more shrouded. It's a little harder to see
right, right, right.
specifically. But so the next song, Con Suavidad.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. The song's chorus, with its repeated vows of desnudarte, which means undress you, and estrecharte, which means embrace you, against the wall, suggests a passionate encounter. However, the use of con suavidad, which means with gentleness, implies a tenderness and respect underlying the physical desire. So, this juxtaposition of intensity and gentleness paints a picture of love that is both fervent and considerate. The imagery of morder tu corazón, biting your heart, further intensifies the emotional depth of the connection, suggesting a desire to become an integral part of the other person's being. So yeah, us Latinos, we're very
Purely,
passionate. Okay,
exactly. Pure passion, pure love. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
us Latinos, we're very passionate people.
Yeah,
Kidding
right.
aside, so the title of the song being Con Suavidad, which means with gentleness. I mean, do you consider your music to contain gentleness, or are you even interested in exploring that?
I believe in some songs, yes. I think
Hmm.
some songs we appeal to gentleness.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, there are a couple of songs. Yeah, yeah, I believe so.
because I mean,
La Mar, for example, no? La Mar, our most, I don't know, played song.
oh yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's very, very gentle. I think, no, and the lyrics, they talk about, that sometimes you feel this need to, to kind of a Tren al Sur. It's similar to Tren al Sur because it's like this, I need to leave the city. I need to leave leave all the crowds and
Hmm.
feel myself with the sand, with the sea, with the ocean. This is what we say in La Mar, right?
Right.
So yeah, that's gentleness, and we have some other songs like Haven, for example, that talks about finding a place for you also to to be safe.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, I think we do it. We do that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Because I mean, a lot of this, not a lot of Gemini is more kind of musically speaking. It seems very danceable, very kind of like heavy on beats. Um, not like soft really. Like there's not I don't remember much softness with this record.
I think I will say if there is one like soft song,
Hmm.
maybe it would be Amethyst. Amethyst, no, I would say.
Okay.
Uh, if no, well, I mean Lamar is in this album too, no, but yeah, maybe Amethyst is this ballad, no, it's a song ballad actually, Amethyst.
Sure.
Uh,
Okay. That's the ballad of the album, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'm a sucker for a sad song, so I mean, anything soft and sappy and sad is for me.
Yep.
Uh, all right, so let's move on to. We're gonna skip over a few songs because I didn't really have any questions for them, and then of course with a lot of the context of some of these songs having to do mostly with like romance and stuff like that, it was kind of hard
Yes.
to draw something for it that wouldn't be
True,
too
true, true.
too personal, you know?
I would say the one that is very, very interesting to me is Estreches de Corazón, I would say.
That was the one
And
I
I,
was
I
going to
would,
go to.
oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Go ahead, please.
what about this song does it for you?
No, I mean, what is interesting is musically, is how they bring these Spanish rhythms, no? The like the guitarra española, like more flamenco,
Yeah.
um, and all this is pure passion. Also, this song, no, as you see,
Yeah.
but musically, I think it's very, very powerful.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these songs are powerful in that sense. I mean, whether you're listening to the lyrics or whether you're listening to the music itself. Um, so this song delves into the emotional turmoil and complexities of a strained relationship. So the title itself, which translates to narrowness of heart, sets the tone for discussion on the limitations of love and understanding between two people. The lyrics penned by the band's lead singer, bassist Jorge Gonzalez, are a poignant exploration of the pain caused by emotional distance and a lack of empathy within a romantic partnership. So now this is more of a question for Jules, but I mean maybe you can help me out, or maybe you have a better understanding. Because I was thinking that this one seems most connected to the first track on your new album, the song "Glow." Is that right?
Hmm. I don't know. In what
Okay.
sense you mean? In what
Well,
sense?
because
Lyrically speaking, you mean?
I think I remember reading an interview with Jules where she had said something along the lines of how that song is kind of explores like being in love, you know?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Glow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
"Glow."
our first song.
Yes.
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. I think it's a very good yes comparison what you're saying. Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Right. But so do you have no, like I said, this was kind of a question for her, but I mean from what you understand
Mhm.
of her lyrics, considering, you work so closely together, like what do you understand of those lyrics and what do you think that she is trying to convey specifically through that song?
Yeah, no, I think it's this metaphor, no, of glowing and being in love,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
Um, and all the emotions around it, no?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's not always pleasant. I mean, I guess the glow kind of sounds like you're speaking of the aura that encapsulates you, or I guess maybe even the feeling
correct.
when things are
Yes.
good. But maybe the glow can also be kind of like dark, where if you're feeling hurt or in pain, the glow is maybe more minimal or maybe a different color.
Yes, that could be. Yes.
Okay, well, I'll have to.
I
If I end up running into you guys, I maybe I'll have to ask Jules that myself, what she thinks about that song. Um,
sounds good.
all right, so next thing I want to skip onto is Noche en la Ciudad. Okay, so although it was not released
Yeah,
as it was not released as a promotional single, but the song had a relatively high turnover on Chilean radios in 1991. So it has a rhythmic bass indebted to Blue Monday of New Order. His lyrics are assimilated to those of the previous albums of Los Prisioneros, since he deals sarcastically with the apparent quote unquote tranquility that prevailed during the Pinochet dictatorship through his curfew and the prudish mentality of the time. So this is like one of the most political songs on this album, whereas
correct.
they weren't doing a lot of the political lyrics at this time.
Yes.
So even though this isn't delivered in the same punk rockish manner that Los Prisioneros were better known for at this time, this has elements of some of their more political satire and commentary. And I heard interview you did recently that your new album Gemini also tackles some political topics, but you'd rather be oppositional through joy rather than aggression. Is that right?
Yes, yes. Well, yeah. I mean, I think you mentioned, yeah. So I think you did a mention to Blissing Hour or some Blissing Hour there. But I would say our most political song in the album, I think, is Alien.
Hmm.
It's the song number 2.
Yeah.
And Alien, as the name says, no, it does the reference to the status that you have here as an immigrant
Right.
when you are an alien, right? You are an alien resident, alien non-resident, right? But you are an alien because you are not from here, right?
Yes.
And I don't know if people here question that word even, no? You're just used to use it, right?
Right.
But it's very powerful that you are referred as an alien, as something, from the outside. This is very discriminative, I would say, no?
Yeah.
So Alien is very, very direct and very political. Yeah. And when it comes to Blissing Hour, it's more, let's say, it's one would say, we want to express our joy and we want to dance and we want to, as an act of rebellion, and because everything is fucked up, no, but at the same time we are not going to let us down, and we still can enjoy. We are powerful. We can express ourselves, and that's Blissing Hour, which is it's kind of also maybe similar to Noche en la Ciudad, right? This with this powerful message, right? Against let's say the status quo or the society, the shitty society out there. Yeah.
Right. Yes, the song "Alien" too. I mean, that is a very. I don't want to say it's controversial because I don't think that it's I don't think that it's controversial. I think that it's a important and possibly touchy subject, just because. Because you guys are immigrants to this country. So, I mean, I think that what you're saying as far as the peaceful protesting kind of aspect of bringing joy through like dancing, it's a rebellion through dance, essentially, right?
Correct. Yeah.
That's a peaceful protesting kind of way, while you can still bring attention to an issue or maybe somebody's naivety, I'll say, because like you're saying, the word alien, you say the word alien to anybody, and the first thing they might think of is, well, E.T., I don't know, they think UFOs.
Right.
But you're right in that the definition means someone that's not from here. And
exactly.
And that's a very powerful topic to discuss, especially right now, because it's just such a hot topic in our country, because it's so kind of fucked up and disgusting over it,
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but I like that. I love how you guys are thinking about how, thinking about a protest in a sense. Maybe protest isn't the right word. Maybe it's just what's the word you used?
I think it's the right word too. Yeah.
Protest.
Yes.
But through dance.
We are protesting somehow. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's power in that. I mean, it's kind of the sense of like peaceful protesting. I don't know of any peaceful protest that specifically kind of used dance, but that can be effective for sure.
Yeah.
No, sure. Yeah. I mean, you have a whole group of people that are dancing together. I mean, that's powerful. Whether you're using it as politics and revolution, or whether you're just using it as just to have fun. I mean, a huge group of people dancing together are unified in a way.
Of course, of course. It's when you can think about los prisioneros doing music in the time of a dictatorship. No, I mean,
Right.
right? I mean, it was their protest, no, their way to escape from there, right? Yeah.
Right, right. But there's political messaging, like lyrics can are your primary vehicle to your audience, right?
Uh,
I mean, that's not totally fair because you want an audience to feel your music too, and obviously, if you want them to dance, you want them to feel the music, to make them move. But
right.
really, lyrics are the primary vehicle to get people to understand what you're like, where you're at, and where, like, kind of what you want to
Absolutely.
tell people. So that's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, man. I'm very happy that you guys like made that song and took that
Yeah.
stance.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. 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 I think that's something that we will never abandon. No, I mean our political sense, our political and critical mindset. No, it will always be there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Um, Even in times of peace, you kind of still have to be paying attention.
Oh yeah. I mean, yes.
And hopefully we'll get there soon. Times of peace.
Yeah. The times of peace. That's very very subjective. No. To-
Yeah, yeah. Well, hey, I mean, as long as, people aren't being beaten and killed in the streets, I mean, I would say that that's fairly peaceful. um, but all right, I want to discuss the last song, and then we're gonna get you out of here, okay? So the last song is Es demasiado triste.
Qué
Uh,
triste. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. I don't know. It's not. I would say it's not the best song of the album. I would say. No, honestly, I'm
it's
not a, yeah, big fan of that one.
okay. Yeah, it's weird.
It's again very emotional. No, maybe. I mean, we forgot to talk about Corazones. No, Corazones Rojos. That song.
Yes, yeah. I just kind of skipped it, but yeah, no, I understand. It is an
Yeah, but
important
that
one.
I believe that one is much more relevant when it comes to the lyrics and the critics. Is that song talks about the machism, no?
Oh,
Is
right.
that the right word? Machism?
Machismo or
Machismo, right? It's one, yeah. It's the men emojiony, no?
misogyny.
Hegemony. Misogyny. Thank you for that. Thank you.
No
Misogyny,
problem.
exactly.
You
Thank you.
you you helped me with
Right?
remezcla.
So
Yeah, no,
yeah,
that song is interesting. I mean,
yes,
because,
yes, yes,
well, so
yes.
the difference of that song, the Corazones Rojos, is that was
Mm.
originally written by Gonzalez as a gift for the performance cruise Las Cleopatras.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why it has that angle on it, that lyrical angle of kind of like calling out masculinity, toxic masculinity, misogyny,
Exactly.
because it was
Exactly.
basically being written for women to sing.
I think you are fully right. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Right, right, right. But
Yeah.
I mean, that is a good song too. That one was the more hip hop one, right? Kind of.
Yeah, kind of. Exactly,
Right.
exactly. And by the time in Chile, I remember there was this video, no, that they released for that song, and that one was very controversial. Controversial. There was
Okay.
this woman wearing the Chilean flag, on top.
Okay.
And that was very controversial because coming from the dictatorship, I mean, you didn't see someone wearing the flag with that liberty.
Sure.
So yeah, I remember, and the lyrics, of course, they were very, very powerful, no? And talking
Mm.
about, and Chile is a very misogynistic country, no? Still, no, of course, and
Yeah. I mean,
um,
that's the Latin
yeah,
American culture,
so,
really. I mean, it's
yep.
there is a lot of that, unfortunately. You're very right. I wasn't even
But
thinking about
yeah,
that.
I have to say there is a lot of progress, but it's thanks to the woman and not to, let's say, not to us,
Sure.
right? It's
I
thanks to the woman rising up. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's I think that really kind of has to come down to our kids, right? So, I mean, you don't have children, right? Right. But I have two kids. I have two boys. And so it's my responsibility to teach my boys how to be gentlemen and how to be respectful. And you know,
Hmm.
and I feel like I have done that. I mean, you know, they're at the age now where they're trying to start to date, and um they blow me away, man. They like they
Uh-huh.
their thoughts and like their um like reactions, like the way they kind of like respond to the girls in their lives. I'm just like, you guys are doing it right. You know, they're totally respectful. There's like no,
Right.
yeah. I mean, even their mother, like very respectful to their
Yeah.
mother for the most part. You know, I mean, like sometimes we have blowouts, sometimes we have arguments. You know, sometimes there's a mean
Right.
word
Right.
that's said, but you always
Right.
have to be respectful to women. And I've always taught them, never ever lay a hand on a woman. And it's because
Right.
they don't see me do that. I don't do that with my wife. So hopefully
That's yeah.
that's what our job
And
is. Our
teaching with
job is to,
example is also,
what's that?
not teaching with the example is always good. Huh?
Right. Yes. Yes. Sometimes I'm surprised though, because like they don't have any desire to play rock and roll or do any drugs. So I'm like, okay, I don't know where you got that from, but they're good. They're
Yeah.
good kids. That's all that matters. That's all.
Uh-huh. Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
All right. Last
Yeah.
song. Es demasiado
Congrats,
triste.
congrats for that.
What's that?
No, congratulations for that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's
Yep.
my prized possession at this point. Um, so very few facts about this song I have found, except that Jorge Gonzalez has said that it's the song he likes most on the album because it's the hardest for him. Oh, but it's the hardest for him to sing. Aside from the most reviews and retrospectives discussing how overwhelmingly sad this song is, and it's fitting because it's the last song and it, exemplifies many things in many ways, kind of a closure on Jorge's grief for his loss of love and his bandmates at this time. Could be looked at as the ending of Los Prisioneros. Either way,
Right.
it's very sad, just like the song title says, and that's not the way we
Right.
want to end our conversation. So, can you tell me what are your hopes at this moment with your latest record?
Oh, um, I mean, what my hopes is that I hope that is listened by as many people as possible. Honestly, that's my only hope.
Yeah,
Um, so far, we have received very good feedback. From here and there. Is opening for us opportunities. To play in other cities.
mm-hmm,
Uh, right. So I mean, yeah, that's great. That's great. You always hope that people will like the music that you do, right? That they like your concepts,
right,
um, right? So yeah, I mean, I'm 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 hopeful, but I'm also very realistic. I mean,
sure,
so yeah, it's just we always try to do the best, and we just hope that people like it. I would say that's my hope.
right. Well, speaking of playing shows in different cities, you've been invited to Los Angeles, right?
Yeah, yeah, correct. Yes, in
So
June. Yeah,
you're
that
playing
will
in Los
be.
Angeles in June?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes. Yeah, we're playing with this very old goth band, that I listened since I was is ex Voto, right? They're so from some years ago, from the 80s probably, right?
Yeah,
And now
sounds
we're
right.
playing with them, right? So now we're playing with them, which is like wow, yeah.
In LA of all places. I mean, like that's just where it happened to happen, or you're kind of focusing on traveling to the other side of the country.
No, no, no. So there is a festival there, no, and they invited us to play it. So yeah, we did a
Nice,
deal, and the deal worked, and yeah, so. Yeah.
beautiful. That
So
sounds
yes,
great.
and recently we played in Washington. No, we are playing the album everywhere. No,
Yeah,
um, and very good reception, really. So I mean, I'm glad for that.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
That's wonderful. Congratulations. That sounds like it's going to be a
Oh, thank you.
wonderful wonderful show. So, but no other tours for planning as of the moment.
No tours. We are playing very soon. We are playing with there is a band called Traders that they are playing in Boston
Okay,
on May 13th. So
cool.
we are playing there. After that, we were invited to play in Salem. There is a small festival that will be in Salem, close to Boston.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will play that one. Then I think we are going to LA. I think there are a couple of more dates that will come. Yeah, but yeah.
Okay, that sounds great, man. That's wonderful. Congratulations on the dates you currently have, and congratulations on making a great record. It is available on vinyl and CD, right?
On vinyl, yes, it's almost pressed. It's coming, but yeah, it's available in every format. Yeah,
Oh, okay. So you got like pre-orders going on right now?
yes, we have pre-orders. Yes, exactly.
Wonderful. Okay, cool, man.
And
Well,
we have t-shirts and we have all new merchandising all related to the album. Yes,
all right.
and kudos to my friend Christian Lizama from Chile. He's the artist that we always work with him since the beginning of the band. Right, and that's he's a great painter, and we work always with him. No? So yeah, kudos to him for the art for the artwork of the album.
It's beautiful art. Yeah, that's very cool. Um, well, I will make sure to link it so that people can find all of those things and be able to get in touch with you in one way or another, or buy some merch because that's always helpful. Um, Claudio, thank you very much for taking some time and talking with me, man.
No, no, thank you, James. Thank you so much for your time. It was a really great conversation. No, very extended, very open.
Yeah,
I really love that. It was, and we talk about a great topic, no, Los Prisioneros and this album. So I think that I love the format of the interview. So yeah, thank you so much for that.
oh, no problem, man. Vinyl and Vision is a Psychic Static production. Theme song written and performed by Jeff Robbins of 123 Astronaut.